It's a beautiful day, so I thought great opportunity to give you an update on what we've been up to. Some of you may know that we bought an abandoned off-grid farm with a tiny house on it, and we have been doing everything we can to bring the farm and the tiny house back to life and make it a part of how we want to live. We focused on getting the animals that we have used to the land and us working the land so that it sort of suits them. We started off with a small flock of sheep, and now we have Highland cows and another addition to the farm, who I'll show you now. This is Willow. This is Willow, and Willow found us as a kitten. We rescued him. He'd been abandoned and he's been with us ever since. So say hi to Willow. He's amazing. Moving here has been surprise after surprise. I couldn't predict any of it, but I'm really grateful for all of it. So today is all about showing you the tiny house and giving you a tour of the 3 rooms that make up the space that we are about to move into. We originally started off in our static caravan. It's always supposed to be temporary, but being off-grid, it's taken us a bit longer to make it work, to make the tiny house work. We needed to sort out our own water, our own power. Luckily, the tiny house had connections to connections to a septic tank that hadn't been used for a while. So we've just done everything we can to find a way of making it livable. So welcome to this crazy off-grid life that we found ourselves in. Hi. So let's head inside and I will give you a tour of our tiny home. This is our entrance hall, but because we're so limited on space, we had to make the most of every square centimetre, every square inch. So in the entrance hall, we not quite finished yet, so we're probably about 85–90% finished in sort of all the rooms. There will be some fitted cabinets going in here that will be the same depth as this wall. They will hang coats and put shoes. We'll also have some spare cupboards for storage as well. In here, this is the water closet, or the WC, or the powder room. We've separated it from our shower room. Again, because of space, and actually there's an architect back in the 1920s called Le Corbusier who said that the best way of having these spaces is you separate your toilet from your cleaning area, and we've been able to do that here, which is great. So we can have a shower in one of the other rooms and everything else here. Also, there's a cupboard where we'll have our fridge, some more storage, and a pantry. This is the area that, again, we've tried to keep it, although it's got loads of stuff in it and we've crammed in, we've tried to keep it as simple as possible. Lights up here, these are great. These sort of flip around and you can angle them. There'll be lights inside the cabinet over here. Yeah, I mean, it's a really simple space, but it works well. All of the power that we generate ourselves here enters the building in the corner here with a fuse box. So if you looked at it and didn't know that we were off grid, it looks like a normal consumer unit. It's all wired in. The electricians did an amazing job. It's a lot from a little space. This is the powder room, or WC. So one of the things we were determined to do was make each area feel like a house that you would find connected to the grid, just squeezed into a smaller amount of space. So this is the WC, and we've just tried to keep it feeling as like any other WC that you can. We've installed a super simple kitchen area. We've got a double hob with a built-in extractor fan, which saves us loads of room. We don't need a big overhead hood, it's all within here, it works really well. Simple sink, hot and cold water, just like any other kitchen, just a lot smaller. Number of cupboards, overhead cupboards. For how we live here, it serves us really well, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how it evolves as we spend more and more time living in here and not in the static caravan. So because we only have two small spaces, one divided for living and one divided for sleeping, we were trying to work out how do we ensure we've got somewhere that you can sit and eat, because we don't want to be sat on the sofa eating all the time or in other random places. And for us, this made sense, having a breakfast bar, workspace, again, keeping it really simple, giving us a multi-use space within what is, giving us a multi-use space. This is the living space. As you can probably see, we've crammed a lot into a little. But the thing that really makes it work is the fact that we replaced what were barn doors here with a big piece of glass. So we're bringing the outside in. It makes life feel a lot bigger in such a tiny space. We've also kept the vaulted ceiling that was here in the barn side of things, which again gives you a sense of more space than we actually have. So it's turned out to be quite a cosy place to be. We've kept the palette for paints and things really neutral so that we can use different items to make it feel however we want to, and we can change that over time. As I said, we're about 80% finished, so there's bits missing off of sockets, the covers from some sockets, because they have to be painted. But all in all, this will be how it looks and feels, just with a few minor additions. We thought this was a great sofa because it's actually quite good for sleeping on as well, when you're a bit too tired. Lovely colour that, again, on this neutral palette works really well. For a tiny house, I think we've sort of nailed it in here. It took us a long time. We moved stuff around a huge amount to try and get it to fit and work, because however much you measure things out, when you get them in the space, they don't always work out the way you'd hoped. So this has definitely been trial and error. We have a friend who's been helping us with the plumbing, and he's moved the kitchen around 3 different places on 3 different walls. He's been really great about it. So, this has been an experience, definitely. But I think we're both really pleased with how it's turned out. It's it's easily manageable as well. And we don't, we spend so much time outside dealing with the animals, with the land, with, we've got a forest we've got to take care of. The list goes on and on. It made no sense to have a silly size house. And when we got here, I think what you tend to find is most people would knock down the little houses that are left on these old farms. And for us, we just fell in love with it, and thought it was a bit of a waste to lose that history. So yeah, this is our living room, kitchen and dining room all in one. And I'll take you through to see the sleeping space, the bedroom, and that leads into the shower room. So this is the bedroom space. Again, tiny space, but actually works really well. We were really lucky. There was a sort of an old strange door in the wall at the end, so we were able to put in a big window that's fantastic to sort of look out in the morning and at night when you're in here. Again, really simple space. We've got some work to have done. We've got to put some cupboards in along the back wall, for storage of clothes and things like that. But again, we're not going to have wardrobes full of clothes. We don't need that. It's very much a case that we are learning to do a lot more with a lot less. We've tried to keep some themes running through the whole building. So if you'll notice that all of the windowsills and ledges are made out of the same material as the breakfast bar in the other room. The lights, all of the same materials. Again, because it's such a small space, everything can become overpowering really quickly. So we've kept that in mind as we've gone through this process. And we've lost a bit more space because, again, we've stuffed the walls full of lots of insulation. For us, the key points aren't how it necessarily looks inside, but will it keep us warm in the winter? Will it keep us cool in the summer? Is it easily manageable? Will it keep the water out? Because there's a lot of water here. So that was our main focus when we were doing this. The floor was a big part of that. We put in electrically heated underfloor heating, and people go, "Oh my God, that's going to use a huge amount of energy." But we've been very lucky. It doesn't use a huge amount. It's really efficient. And when you put it on for a few days, it uses hardly anything. 500 watts. Because it's heating up the thermal mass underneath, the tiles and the electric heating elements is a large slab of concrete. And once that's heated up sufficiently, it just makes everything a lot easier. So the whole house warms up. I was genuinely shocked because we had, as a safety measure, there are some sockets on the wall just in case we got our calculations wrong and we had to put other heaters in. But so far, it's turned out okay. We'll know in the depths of winter if it's working. But the other thing we've learned is you have to have a plan A, B and C. And we've tried to build that into this building. We're starting off with the least amount possible. Then, if we know we've got something wrong, it's very easy for us to add to that. Yeah, it's a nice place to be. Really simple. I feel really lucky that the space has turned out the way it has. I'll now show you where the shower room is. So this is our shower. It's really simple really. We wanted to keep it so that we use the most space in the best possible way, and it just made sense for this to be here. We had a few constraints with how we approached everything in the building. We didn't want to move any of the existing infrastructure that was here, although it might have been 100 years old or 50 years old. We wanted to, can we build around the elements that are already here? So where the different outpipes were. Now the person who lived in this up until 35-40 years ago never connected any of the water internally, but there were pipes in place to do it. They didn't actually have an internal loo, but the pipe work was there that took it to a septic tank. So it was a natural progression for us to go, okay, we need to work around that. So we're just adding to what already exists. In here, this was actually where a sink ran for cleaning, I think, your general everyday cutlery. So part of what was a kitchen. So we've built around those elements of the house. All of the windows and doors are exactly where they were in the first place, exactly the same size. It was just about how can we use them in a slightly different way. What we've done is taken the structure and the fabric and how the building was used until 35, 40 years ago and gone, okay, we can build on that, not destroy it. Where the kitchen is, that's just a natural progression from where the kitchen area that they had used to be. It's very rudimentary and it was never done properly, but we've worked with that. It's the same with the WC. The entrance area, as I said earlier on, was probably built in the 70s and the infrastructure was put in there, but it was never connected up, never used. The person who lived here was really frugal and lived absolutely off grid, completely in a way that we wouldn't be able to do. I mean, fantastic they could do that, and a testament to how the building protected them through their life. We just wanted to keep that going, but with a few creature comforts. Yeah. Dreaming.